meeting to order of November 18th. Roll call, please, Joe.
Tatiana? Here. Dick?
Here.
John?
Here.
He's absent. Jennifer?
Here.
John here, and then Jim.
Present.
Proof of notice.
As listed in the agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Tatiana. Any questions on the agenda? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Citizens' comments. Resolution 1920-109, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Tim. Questions on the minutes? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Ready for a treasurer's report, Jim?
Yes. Treasurer's report for Monday, November 18th, 2019. Total of all expenditures for October is $1,311,230.57. Our investments, state investment pool, general fund has a balance of $788,230.82. Earned interest of $2,942.35. Debt service account has a balance of 14 cents. Non-refundable debt account has a balance of $1,288.64. Earned interest of $2.10. Total investments, government investment pool is $789,519.60. Our Theresa State Bank account, general fund has $1,198,506.86. Earned interest of $1,358.58. Money market general, balance $11,177.78. Earned interest of $20.85. Fund 46 Trust is a balance of $1,239.85. Earned interest of $2.31. For total investment, Trust State Bank, $1,210,924.49. Our total cash investment as of October 31, $2,444,009.
Okay, we have resolution 1920-110, approval of treasurer's report. Motion?
So moved.
Dick? Second by
Joe.
Joe. Any questions on the treasurer's report? Dick?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1920-111, approval of regular semi-monthly bills.
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Jenny. Questions on the bills? Hearing none. Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Resolution 1920-112, approval of per diem. Need a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Joe,
Second.
second by Joe.
You gotta mix up between John and me.
Yeah.
I get the full day and he gets the 29. I lose the 29.
Okay, so
11/2, I got a full day, but I didn't have a 10/29.
You went,
No, not to,
that was to the thing down in Pewaukee.
Yeah.
oh, didn't you guys go to a, oh, that was the
Yeah, that
29?
was.
That's the
yep,
29th.
yeah,
Okay.
You went on, so.
Okay.
Didn't you guys
Just
go to a finance
I
meeting?
didn't, no,
Did Joe go to that?
the 11-2, no.
There's a Baird finance meeting coming up.
Oh,
That's
yeah, it's
next
coming up.
month.
Okay, then I just missed
So
the
the
full day
11-2 goes from John to,
to me.
Yep,
I put it in the wrong place.
any other changes? Joe?
Aye.
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 Motion carried 6-0-1. Any communications, Joe?
We have none.
Okay.
Hmm.
Committee reports, any?
We need to have a policy meeting. So we gotta dial something in. So tomorrow, expect just throwing some options out there and then seeing what we can come up with. So that another update is coming out and we're going to get more behind than we already are. It's easy to catch up, no big deal, but we just gotta start making some momentum. So stay tuned. I'll just send out a message to the group and we can all coordinate there.
Okay.
No problem. That's totally appropriate for email.
So are they gonna send me emails?
You know, I'm initiating it, I'll go from there.
All right.
Because we pretty much are, now we got it.
Gonna go into your administrative report?
Sure, okay. My presentation, as far as the superintendent report, is going to pretty much encompass the district report card. And so you have at your seat in front of you, you have just a big overview school reports cards at a glance. This is a resource that's provided by the CPI. It actually does a very good job of talking just high level about the basics of the school report card. And then you have the face, like the first page of the report cards for the district, the high school, and the middle school. So one of the things that I'm just going to point out right now, on the back page, we have had the realization that we are actually getting a K-8 report card. We've had the conversation, we know how it's being, we believe we had a good understanding of how it's being reported. Now we really do. This is literally a K-8 report card comparing us to other K-8 buildings in the state of Wisconsin. There really aren't that many of them, and when you are doing an apple to an apple, what you're seeing are like Lake Country area, River Hills, Heartland. It's
Can
the
you-
socioeconomics are different than
Can
us.
you tell me how many roughly
Okay.
for the numbers?
So
of
we have
total
that
K-8?
information. We shared it with the staff today, so he just
Okay.
shared 42.
42. Okay.
So our goal, we're gonna reach out, we talked to faculty about it today. Our goal is to reach out and get a K-5 report card and a 6-8 and a 6-12. We think that would do a better job of reflecting our dynamics. It just happens to be a building, but it's not, the K-8s are typically a K structure with a union high school that we're looking at. So out of the 42, the vast majority of them, that's what they have. So we think a better data point would be a K-5, a 6-8, and a 9-12. So no matter what, yeah, here's the results from this year. So I would like to get into the presentation and start speaking to just the overall background of the school performance report card and some of the changes that are happening in the state. So the measurement for this year at the high school includes the ACT, ELA, and math. It also does now include the Aspire. So that's a new data point that's getting included. So now we can start talking about growth and also start talking about closing gaps. Before the high school portion of it was just the ACT. And earlier, before we even got to this, all we were really ever looking at was the WKC, which was a 10th grade test, right? And mostly a 4th grade test. Well, times have significantly changed. So when it comes to the middle school students, it's grades 3 through 8, ELA and math. But even the growth scores are counting, so how an 8th grade student does on their ELA and math does end up impacting their amount of growth they have, and would result, a couple years later, it would result in their growth and a score at the high school. So this is truly a system-wide data piece that all these pieces are starting to talk to each other. And then there is another data point called the dynamic learning maps. That's an alternate assessment for students with significant cognitive disabilities. We actually have to be very mindful of how many students take the test. It's supposed to be as minimal as possible. So if you overuse that test as an alternative assessment, you actually have to file a report and explain why you have it. So the achievement and growth scores are weighted over 3 years. So let's say like right now, A+ all across the board, and that's not how things are scored, but A+ across the board, the year before B, the year before C. The A+ across the board, that the most current one, that has the most weight, and then the other ones start to drop off. It's kind of like our revenue worksheet, how it's a 3-year average, and right? Same kind of thing. So if you have a dip in a score 1 year, it'll be around for 3 years, is the thing. So you can't just, the goal is to not see major fluctuation in report cards, but as we start to incorporate some of this new data, you are going to see that still, because we haven't had the complete reset years. The other part is the closing achievement gap score that we'll be looking at and just talking about high level. That's weighted over a trend of between 4 to 6 years, and I'll just give you, it depends. So it's a 4 years and 6 year measurement. The other part is that the exam is more and more getting a stronger alignment with the Common Core too. So that's a variable where you're not really doing an apple to an apple still. So it's all coming. So Wisconsin is in a unique position where we're one of the few states that require the ACT as that uniform exam. So as a prior high school administrator, I advocated for that. Why have the kids take a different test? That's a test that we use. The difference is that we had an option where this was all voluntary in the past. So you naturally, as a system, would have higher student achievement data because it's voluntary, those that are planning on going to a 4-year school. Now, all kids do. So that definitely has had an impact on the overall scores in the state of Wisconsin. So all juniors take the ACT, all freshmen and sophomores now take the Aspire. Okay. So the high school report card is based upon student achievement, as well as the individual student growth and closing of the achievement gap. So that's a new variable for us this year. The forward exam, that's a standardized achievement exam. We actually we use a system called iReady, where we give that assessment to our kids at the beginning of the school year and the end. Also, we have an option to do it in the middle of the school year too, to track progress. So that resource is a very strong alignment to the forward exam. So we should be able to use that to predict our scores and how things go in the forward exam. So our primary building right now gets a self-reported assessment is the deal. So this is a K-8 report card as of right now. So it is, again, it's about achievement, but it's about growth, it's about closing the achievement gaps. And for the past 2 years, we've been working to align our curriculum, okay, to the exam. I wouldn't say that that's all we're doing. We're aligning our curriculum to what we believe are the proficiency targets, okay? This is the most important learning we believe for our students, and it does have a strong alignment to the exam. And we're just about to wrap up that work and then to kind of keep shaking it out and fine-tuning it.
When do we take the iReady?
The iReady is a
So
local test.
iReady, and how long away before the next test?
Okay, so the forward exam, that's done in the spring.
Okay.
Okay, iReady, that's our own local assessments.
Yep.
We do that in the fall, right at the beginning of school year. Okay, and just making sure, do we do a winter one?
Yep, winter
Okay.
expert.
So
We're doing
some
twice.
schools are going away from that because there's so much assessing that's going on at the system level. So, and then we do it again in the spring.
So there are three.
So we have 3 local data points that we have. On top of it, we have our own like units of study that have assessments that go along with that. And we're talking about aligning our common assessments. And and making sure that our assessment practices help reflect some of what they're exposed to. Because the Ford exam itself, like, if you're not used to taking a test on a computer, then that's gonna impact how you perform. So some of it's just really, and we use a term lately, it's a culture of assessment, and just exposing people to ACT-like type questions. Yes, we're teaching content that'll be on the ACT, but are we exposing them to that level of rigor and that level of questioning to make sure that as much as we can, we're preparing for them for that assessment?
Is the I-ready pretty accurate, and as far as what we're needing to improve on and really
For sure.
kind of correlates pretty well
It's
to the
tough.
Ford
It
exam?
is rigorous.
It is, okay.
And so is this exam, is the thing. And so in 2 more years from now, it's supposed to be, we believe, kind of finally and 100% in alignment with what the benchmarks are. So what you see at a statewide level, the trend goes like this. So even though a school performance report card for one district says significantly exceeds expectations, it does not mean that their achievement is doing this, okay?
You're
It
closing
means
gaps,
that-
you're
it
getting
means
all the
with
data
gaps
points,
and
they're
growth,
getting all the
right.
data points. correct.
So one of the data points that is, so at a workshop recently, said the data point that people can look at, and try at least, is the overall score.
Yeah.
But the minute you try to get to a building and compare buildings to buildings, good luck, is the deal. On top of it, it also depends on the student groups that are on the bottom of the page here that you have, and the dynamics that are occurring there. So districts that have larger socioeconomic groups are measured differently. So some are real high, it's all about achievement, others are more, it's about the growth and closing the gaps, is the deal. So for us, the universal, like the overall, is intended to be 25, 25, 25. For us, if you look at the middle school, this is how we're measured this year. 23% is student achievement, about 27% is growth. So at the high school, it's 45% achievement, 34.6% growth. We did receive a gap score, but it didn't come in the report card. It was a very positive score for us too. I think we would have liked to have had it in the report card, right? But we believe it'll show up next year. Yeah, also, depending on year to year to year, you might not even get a gap score if you don't have the subgroups. Because a gap score is only about the specific subgroups. You're not going to get it if you don't have enough data. So, but the district overall is at 25, pretty much 25, 25, 25. Now, you're not going to see that when you look at districts throughout the state of Wisconsin. That's our story. So, here's our overall score then at a 69.3. Okay, so our achievement on the top right-hand side, and I will be speaking to it. So you have the student achievement, district growth, closing gaps, on track and post-secondary readiness, and then the priority area weights. So I already covered the priority area weights, and I would say I'm going to keep moving through the presentation, but I will be speaking to this page throughout it. Okay. So our overall district score is 69.3. High school with that 73.7 exceeds expectations. Now last year, look at what happened. Now that's still a variable. That score is still a part of the high school score this year as far as the overall growth stuff goes. Okay? So last year's was heavily weighted upon that, the junior classes ACT. And we didn't have those other data points to even recognize growth and to even look at gaps at that point in time. So we have a district score of 69.3 that went up 1.8 points from the year before. So the high school score went up significantly, but we did see a little dip. And if you look at the score in here, 75.9, 68, 66.4, it does reflect the trend in data in the state of Wisconsin, is the deal. Okay? So you have to start digging deeper and figuring out what the story is. What is our story here in Mayville? So we are then, as a district, at that 69.3, we're on the higher end of the meets expectations. We want to be exceeds expectations as a system. So when we talked today as a staff, the discussion was, current state is 2 years of meeting expectations. We want a future state of being a 4-star school district. what will it take for us to work systemically to have this dialed in where we don't have the ups and downs is the deal? Because even saying exceeding expectations, there's a big difference between an 82.9 and a 73. So we want to make it into that exceeds consistently, and then we want to continuously move within that piece. It'd be wonderful to say we want to be significantly. We want to be systemically exceeds expectations. That's the conversation that we had. That's what's going to come to you as a board in the key performance indicators and that plan on a page, just so you're aware, that's what we're planning on doing, okay? So we have plenty of strengths that we can celebrate. So our middle school, you look at their page, so that would be page, the back page, okay? For middle school, the ELA achievement is above state average. Our high school, our math and ELA growth is above state average. We know it's not in there, but we know we have data to show and information from the DPI that our math and ELA closing gaps is also above state average, which was great. We believe it's a 69 point something, and right now the gap score at the state level is 67.5 is the average. So we're above state average in that. And it just, this year, they did not include it. Our high school graduation rate is strong. That's definitely a positive attribute, because that's really what it's all about in the end. And our district on track and post-secondary readiness, if you look at our graduation rate, our attendance rate, and our third grade ELA achievement. The third grade ELA achievement you can see on the middle school report card, that is above state average. And then our 8th grade math achievement is included in there, that was slightly below average. So to us, we are aware of that math trend, and we have done a major project of adopting a whole new math model this year. So our areas that we know that we want to see improvement would be the math and ELA achievement. So even though the high school's report card received a 73.7, we are still just slightly below what would be considered state average at that 59.8. So we got major scores for the growth, and that's a phenomenal amount of points awarded there. And we would have received additional points in the closing gaps. So our graduation rate, that entire on-track post-secondary readiness piece looks awesome. So really, we just want to continue to, what does that mean? It means alignment with the ACT. What are we doing in our classrooms? Are we creating practices and experiences of our kids that are going to prepare them more, I guess I use the word better prepare them for the ACT. It's okay to use that word.
Are we aligning, and I'm sure we are, but as far as the math, are we aligning more stuff for especially those 4 exams as well? And that's the only, I never
Yes,
really did ask
when we
that
did the
question, 'cause I
research,
would,
okay, so when we did the research and selected the new curriculum, it was keeping all of this in mind.
Because this is
So-
where it's showing, or
Right.
potentially, yeah, we still gotta close the
So
gaps.
we looked at best
That's weakness.
practices that are currently happening, okay, in education today in math. We looked at our friends nearby and the stronger performing districts, and we did not randomly choose a math program. We chose it because we believe we do this right and work with our students and our families, there will be an ROI on the other side, which is stronger performance. So that was not taken lightly, period. So a year's worth of research went into that decision.
Absolutely.
So, and that's why some of our teachers feel like they're brand new to education, because of the amount of work, it's the extra time it's taking this year, but it's all something to celebrate, for sure. So, for us, when we talk about this, the positive part is that we have been working for 2 years prior to this on our new mission, which is empowering learning, fostering innovation, and transforming the learning experience. We have our district core, which could have been included in this presentation. And with those core priorities, we totally believe in that growth mindset. But really what it comes down to, there's another layer of it, and I would say it's about continuous improvement. It's a continuous improvement mindset, and the experiences we're having with the teachers this year, our goal is that those make it to the students, and it just becomes a systemic piece. This is what we're all about. We're always growing, or we're always improving. So they have some research on a growth mindset. If you just use the words, it really doesn't mean anything. You have to measure it and celebrate it. recalibrate. So with that calibration piece, we are aligning our proficiency targets and as vertical teams and horizontal teams. A lot of jargon. What does that mean? K-12 teachers are coming together. We